absence of Nice and the absence of Haas, that is where Lemon has risen up through the ranks and has kind of taken that mantle from those ex-players. And we'll see how they compare. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran. It is Percival. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. It is Lemon. Cheers, chat. Are your cast replay casts? No, yesterday we were live with PiGosaur Cup. Live. So yesterday we had a live cast of PiGosaur Cup. Yesterday, sorry, the day before that we had a live cast of Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. So if you maybe don't tune into the channel too often, most of our casts are live, and then we like intersplice them with replay casts. As I mentioned before, the reason why we are replay casting this event, PiGosaur Cup number 66, is because this is one of the few events we did miss live. We were otherwise busy and preoccupied. I believe this was actually, I just looked at the calendar. Yeah, this was actually lined up with Gardina's appointments. So unfortunately, we were otherwise preoccupied. I do have some pet bunnies, and we did have to. There was some medical attention that was needed for them. So at the time, that is why we did miss out on this PiGosaur Cup cast, for number 66. This would have been on the this would have been a little bit earlier. So yeah, most of the casts we have are live casts. Every now and then we have replay casts. Should have gotten the Hive instead of drones. I mean, there was no wrong answer there. Like, he was so far ahead. Instead of getting the Hive, he got the spawning pool, if you recall. He got the spawning pool and drones. But regardless, like, he already had momentum. He already had a massive lead. But here we go. Here we go. From here, we do have our economic opener. Ranks expand here from Percival. Single gas opener out of our Terran player. Likewise, Lemon across the map going for his own gate expand into Cybercore. So far, so good. Now, when it comes to Lemon's play, again, we haven't been able to cast too much of Lemon as of late, unfortunately. Big fan of Lemon. He has kind of not just risen up the ranks when it comes to the Taiwanese players and the Taiwanese scene, but also internationally as well. Like, he's been getting better and better results, specifically in PvP. Like, we have seen Lemon pop off against the top Protoss players out there. We'll see how he compares against some of the other Terran and Zerg players, though. Let's go. Some of the other events we've been seeing Lemon in are Sunrise Cups. I've been seeing him in Sunrise Cup. And of course, PiGosaur Cups as well. And I want to say Lemon played in a couple of the 2v2 events. I could be mistaken though. But Lemon, he played with Deer, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, played with Deer. There's another Taiwanese player. Lemon, of course, notorious for previously competing under Terran and under Zerg. Notorious. In more recent years, now it's Protoss. As behind this, you have Percival going for his own 1-1-1 into Widowmine drop. So far, he does secure his own natural. And we have a Twilight Council Blink opener out of Lemon. So far, so standard out of our Protoss. We'll keep an eye on the gateway counts. We are loading into Tourmaline. Tourmaline is known for 2-base all-ins. This map is known for hyper-aggressive builds. So we're expecting a bit of a safer start out of Lemon. We do have the Robo. There is a third gateway. Now, technically, the best defense can be a good offense. And we could see 4-gate Blink instead. That is also on the table. So we'll keep an eye on Lemon. But buenas noches, Lojo. Buenas noches. Get some sleep. As this is going to be 3-gate Blink into a third, so safe opener here by Lemon. Mind Job is making its way towards the natural. And we'll see if Lemon can keep up. Otherwise, they do boost into the natural. And so far, no major connections here. One probe going down. There's still one mine shell left here in the main base, but Lemon, so far, he is secure. Blink is finishing up in a couple of seconds, and he should be able to bait out the mine without losing a single unit. Should be able to. Meanwhile, Percival's not done. Waits at the mine shots. Liberator is on the way. Behind this, we're building up in 2 bases, getting to his own 3-1-1 setup, and already pushing out early on with the tank. Lemon does spot this. Yeah, big scout. Does spot, does confirm. But I see bot in the chat. I just checked. The last time you commented was in regards to RSL, and that was also a live cast. Like, if you remember, we were live casting RSL. Which, fun facts, RSL is this weekend, and we'll be live casting that as well. True. Nice link, nice dive. It does take down the first tank. Does he get the second? Ooh, that's a lot of stalkers there. Yeah, he bleeds out so many stalkers. That is not worth it. No, he doesn't get the tank. Doesn't get the tank. We'll lose everything here. How many stalkers just went down? 7. 7 stalkers were killed, and that might just be game. That might just be game then and there. That was not worth it for Lemon. Again, to commit that hard. GG gets pulled, and Percival, he will claim game number 1. Ay. GG. I know it's very tempting. I know it's very tempting. You see 2 tanks within range. You want to focus them down, and he did get 1 with relative ease, but to commit as hard as he did into the second tank and to be punished as hard as he did as well, to lose 7 stalkers in the process, and he failed to kill that tank as well, that was game. That was game. You cannot afford those losses. You cannot afford 7 stalkers to go down then and there against that kind of tank push. GG. GG, well played. Rough start there for Lemon, and with that, Percival snowballs out of control. With that, Percival takes the lead in the series, and we'll see if he can extend that lead. Get a messy defense here from Lemon. I say messy defense, he had the tools to defend. I should say messy decision making, right? To see that army, to make the judgment call, to commit into those tanks, wasn't the call to make. But here we go. Here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. At the time we use Protoss, it is Lemon. That has a very unforgiving time zone. He does his best, and we love him for it. Gases. It does hurt whenever there are a lot of like European events, just because, yeah, our time zone doesn't really work with that. But what I will say, I mentioned this yesterday, and for those who weren't here in yesterday's broadcast, you can now know, but starting this weekend here in Australia, we do hit daylight savings. That's on I believe on Sunday, and when that happens, the tournament's going to be an hour earlier, and that does mean that we can start live casting Water TV Mondays again. It's been a while. It's been a whole season. It's been a whole season since we casted Water TV Monday live. I want to say it was like last year, like December, November-ish. So it's been a while. Sorry, it's last year, October. That's it, last year, October. That's the last time we had daylight savings. But we should be able to cast Water TV Mondays live. We should be able to cast Kung Fu Cups live as well. Kung Fu Cup, Water TV Monday. A lot of the tournaments that we otherwise haven't been casting live recently, we should start to do so again, as it'll be at a better time slot. Here we go. As we have Percival attempting to go for an economic opener. CC is going to be delayed. So a bit of a delay here, nothing too major. Second STV does come down to deal with this and to be able to expand. Overall, not too much of a disruption. Likewise, Lemon back at home and going for his own standard opener. And as we load into a larger map like Winter Madness, longer rush distance by ground, this is where Lemon can start to cut some corners. This is where we could see, say, a 2-gate opener, 2-gate blink into a faster third. We could even see a Stargate opener as well, Stargate into Oracle. We do have options available here for Lemon. If we wanted to be a little bit safer, we could see Robo. But there it is, Twilight Council. Here we go. And again, when it came to the push that we saw last game, it also did hit harder just because of the map as well. Here in Winter Madness, even if we had the same builds that take place, we should be seeing a cleaner defense out of Lemon. Should be clean. Oh no, the real problem is Lad chooses to sleep. He could stream so much more if he didn't. True, unironically. Like right after this cast, I'm going straight to bed. Straight to bed. And then we cast again. And then we bench. And then we cast. Oh no. That's how we do, man. As it's going to be Blink. A Blink of choice here for our Protoss, for Lemon. So let's get into Blink. Behind this, we do have something a little bit more sinister, though. Do you see what I see? This is a bit of an older school build. That is going to be a 3rd Rax before Starport. Hyper aggression here from Percival, going for an early sim timing. Early stim, early 3rd Rax, mass marine production. This will hit quite hard. This will hit very, very hard here. This is a borderline 2-base all-in. We haven't really seen this build in a couple of months. This has fallen off just because of the tendencies of the meta. This kind of stuff has been very played out and is stronger on smaller maps. I'm a little bit surprised to see this on Winter Madness. I'm surprised. But again, we're building up towards an early sim timing, and we can pull the boys with this. Can pull the boys. Eyes are on Percival. Currently, Lemon, he does go 2-gate. Yeah, 2-gate Blink. 2-gate Blink to a 3rd, a very economic, very greedy build here by our Protoss player, and I believe so far, 0 scouting. He has not gone into the main, he doesn't see what's going on. As you can see here, the upgrades are finishing. Marine Marauder is massing up. It's actually going to be very Marauder heavy, okay? And here come the first 2 medevacs. Just waiting for the medevacs, waiting for the push. Light goes dark after the stream. Yes, yes. See, papi, see. Ah. The beds will embrace me. As here comes Percival's move out. The Observer does spot this. Lemon is aware. Bearing in mind that, again, Lemon, he has been cutting corners. He has been greedier this game, getting up to 3-base saturation. He's got a handful of Stalkers. 5 Stalkers engaging. Oh. Percival does stim. Does stim in. 1 Stalkers. Nice wing control, but 1 Stalker does go down. Spots the Observer. Keen eyes. Does spot the Observer. Still rallying. So far, Lemon's keeping up. Behind this, we have the Bay on the way, working towards splash damage, working towards the Colossus. Does catch the 2nd Observer. And there it is, we pull the boys. As we said, you can pull the boys with this. It is a 2-base all-in now. We commit, we're going to be doubling down with a Reactor, I was going to say Reactor Viking, with Reactor Liberator production. Let's go. And it's all or nothing. Either Percival kills them or dies trying. It's all or nothing, papi. The boys are here. And they can tank well, especially against Stalkers. And they will tank, running back the army. Getting on top of the 3rd. But he has to go for the natural. Yeah, he has to go for the kill. Robo is exposed. Forcing back the army. Pylon should go down. Yeah, depowers the gateway. Depowers the Robo. Oh, not quite. Going for the army. Going for the main army instead. So far, decent blink control. Still only warping in 3 zealots at a time. It's not going to be good enough. Kills the natural. Kills the pylon. There's going to be no Colossus. Yeah, just Stalkers. Only blink Stalkers. +1 is going to finish up, but this is already too much damage. No. Does recall though. Okay. Does recall the robes away. Recall suppose pushing off the ramp here is still going to be difficult, but there's no sentry, no force field. Still trading well. Liberator has arrived. Makes his way up the ramp. It does make his way up, but there's nothing left here. We're down to 3 Stalkers and a 2. GG gets called, and Percival, he snowballs out of control. He will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Alas, unfortunately there we saw that Lemon, he wasn't quite able to confirm, the all-in. To be fair, it was a delayed all-in. We saw that the Bio Army was active for quite some time before Percival made the choice to pull the boys. But if you remember, when did he make that choice? After he sniped both observers. He sniped both observers, denied any vision, then he pulled the boys. We saw that again, Lemon was being quite greedy. He went for a fast 3 Nexus build, going for a faster Nexus, into a faster economy, into delayed Zealot Warpins. We never really saw a massive amount of charge lots. We were instead taking up in towards the Bay, +1, and Colossus production. We never quite got there. If we saw an earlier scout, even before all of that, remember, Lemon, he never scouted the main. He never saw the main base. We did take notice of the fact that there was a third Rax before Starport, which is hyper aggressive. If that was scouted a little bit earlier, we would have seen a safer build and safer Immortal production as well, but there was no vision, there was no scouting. Even the initial observer never got into the main base, was sniped by the army. GG, well played. So Lemon Hill's playing blind, and with that, Percival, he is 1 game away from claiming the entire series. Oh boy. Let us go. Loading into game 3. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran leading the series 2-0. It is Percival. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Protoss player from London, Taiwan. It is Lemon. Let's go. Let us go, as we are going to be opening up here, and Lemon, he is in a rough position in the series. He has to fight back here and now to make a series out of this. Percival back at home can just play standard. We've been seeing very economic openers so far. Last game did go into a 2-base all-in, did go for a faster drag, so we'll keep an eye on Percival here once again. We are loading into White Rabbits. This is a larger map in the map pool, longer rush distance by ground, that is true, but at the same time, we brought this up last night as well. This ramp, this area here in between the bases is quite crucial. If Percival can get an all-in up this ramp and set up here outside of the natural, he can just wedge himself in between the natural and the third of his opponents and try to end the game then and there. This position can be very difficult to break as the defending player. Very difficult. We'll see if Percival can get there. We'll see what the plan is. So once again, Percival going for the faster CC. So do you think they're manually mining with workers? At the beginning of the game, they do manually split. That is normal. I do know that you can try to, especially in the very beginning of the game, some players do manually focus their workers on the nearby patches. And they manually mine, but only on your 1-base saturation. That's not really, don't really have the attention span or the actions to do that once you get up to a 2-base economy. But I do know that specifically in the early game, I'm referring to the first minute of play, players do that. Just because there's nothing else to do, there's nothing else going on. You're going for a probe scout across the map. There's nothing keeping up your attention, so you can manually try to target the nearby patches. You see that in player POV streams, but again, it's only for the first minute. So now we're settling in. From here, we're getting into our own 1-1-1. Last game, we did get into Woodbine play, into Woodbine drops. So the game before that, I should say. In game 1. So far, we are investing in 2 additional Hellions. Going to be scouting across the map. Hallucination does confirm the initial build. This time, we do get a Hallucination scout. As we are already building up to 3 gateways. Should be seeing a robo soon. Hellions A poke in, the mine drop is setting up. Oh, actually going into a quadruple mine drop. Okay. Extra Widow Mines. This is a rare build. This is quite a rare build. For those who remember, this build used to be a lot more common, a lot more prevalent a couple of years ago before the big Widow Mine nerf. If you remember, there were like 3 different nerfs to the Widow Mine. They all hit at once. One of them was that now players get an alert when the Widow Mine burrows. Not when it targets, but when it just straight up burrows, so players are getting an alert when that happens. I believe they reduced the amount of damage dealt, and they also reduced the radius as well of the Widow Mine shot. So like 3 nerfs at once. Before that, Widow Mine drop openers and committed and continued mine drop play was very common in TvP, and the entire meta kind of shifted after that change. So it's been a while since we've seen something this committed. Jumping into the main. Unloads are first. Second into the main base, we have 2 more left. So far, they do get focused down. Good reactions by Lemon. Yeah, 1 mine shot left here and does get 2. Okay, 5 probe kills in total. It's okay damage of the medevac is still quite low. One Widow Mine does get away. We can always try to go back in. So far, not the best trades here for Percival, but he can always go back in with another mine drop. True. Oh, hell is it? We go for the dive. Not bad. 9 probes. Oh my god. 9 probes. Never mind. 9 workers go down. A better trades here for Percival. Does take an economic lead, and behind this, getting to stim, getting to his own bio follow-up. Not a bad start out of our Terran player. Going back in. Yeah, this time with a Raven follow-up. 2 more probes. 11 in total now. 12. It's 12 probes going down. This is stacking up. Yeah. Initially, it was okay, but not so much anymore. Bearing in mind, this was a later third base as well. It was a delayed expansion after all the gateways. And Lemon is stuck at home. Stuck at home, taking up. Working towards the forge, +1. Eventually splash damage. Base on the way. Percival looking comfortable. Throws down 2 more maxes. Does get add-ons here, so he does have his 5 rack setup. This is not abnormal here when it comes to your 2-base setup here in TvP. We should be seeing an expansion behind this. We should be seeing a 3rd. Should be. If we didn't have any add-ons, that would be indicative of a 2-base all-in. We have our add-ons. Building up. +1 is soon to finish. I'm not ruling out the possibility that we still pull the boys though. I'm looking at you, Percival. Jumps into the main. Gets into the mineral line. So far, Lemon is out of position. He's racing back home here from his 3rd. Oh, and gateways are being depowered. And decent mine shots. Catching out 3 zealots. Distracting the main army. At the same time, we do have the main force pushing towards the 3rd. And there's no battery. There's no battery in position. There is the Immortal, though. Widow Mines do burrow. Plenty of Marauders. He's going for the Immortal. He gets it. Oh, the Immortal goes down. GG gets called. Lemon is pulled apart. And Percival, he will claim the series 3-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. A dominant performance here from Percival. I don't really think at any point in this series Percival was in any real trouble. Like, he was, for the most part, dictating the pace of the game. He was asserting himself, being the aggressor, and Lemon was having a very hard time keeping up when it came to the move outs, the drop play, and the counterattacks as well. Here we saw that Lemon, he was mainly outside of his natural. He was distracted, forced into his main base. His gateways were being depowered, so he has less reinforcements to warp in defensively back at home. There were no batteries at the 3rd base either, so an even weaker defensive setup at the 3rd. Just a very, very rough position there for Lemon. GG. GG, well played. Didn't quite get into the series, and with that, we have our first finalist. Percival makes it into those finals. Up next, we do have our next semifinals match. It's going to be a best of 5 between Bjorn and Cham. It's going to be another TVZ. We're going to be going on a very short break here, and when we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have Bjorn versus Cham. We'll see you soon. See you soon.